is Zelda Sayer FITZGERALD. You may have heard of my husband. He wrote this novel called The Great Gatsby. I'm certain you may have wondered how he managed to pen all these pages, given the parties, jaunts to Europe, hobnobbing with the likes of Ernest Hemingway. But he did. Between all the drinking and the arguments and the slow days and fast nights. Have you read it? Not to worry, I have some time. Time is all I seem to have. So, oh, one more thing. It is all true. The names have been changed to forgive us all our sins. Scott may not have accomplished that, but he tried. Oh, there's Daisy, Jordan, Tom, Myrtle, George, Nick, and, of course, Gatsby. Most stories begin at the beginning. Mine doesn't. Gatsby's final minutes tell you more about the man than all the hours our lives hold.
I owe you an apology, Nick.
I don't care about that.
I owe you an apology for some of the lies. I haven't used the pool all summer.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me a piece of advice that I've been tossing around in my mind ever since. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, he told me, just remember that all of the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. He didn't say any more, but we've always been unusually communicative in a reserved way, and I understood that he meant a great deal more than that. Gatsby. The man who gives his name to this story represents everything for which I had an unaffected scorn. If personality were an unbroken series of successful gestures, then there was something gorgeous about him. Some heightened sensitivity to the promises of life.
He had an extraordinary gift for hope. A romantic readiness such as I have never found in any other person, and which it is not likely I shall ever find again.
Nick, darling, I'm paralyzed with happiness.
Hello, Daisy.
Nick Carraway, Miss Baker. Nick is my cousin.
Second cousin, once removed.
He and Tom went to Yale together. Did you play football as well?
No, Tom was the football hero. I was just...
There you are.
Hello, Tom.
Care for a drink?
Why, no, thank you. It's a bit early for me.
Who needs a refresher?
Nick, I've been telling Jordan all about you.
You found the place all right?
Difficult to miss.
Where are you staying?
Across the Sound.
West Egg?
A small rental that I found.
Really?
It's an unusual neighborhood. On either side of me, there's gigantic mansions that must go for $12,000, $15,000 just for the summer.
What are you paying?
$80 a month.
Huh. Well, welcome to East Egg.
How long you staying?
Until I make my fortune.
Oh, well, Tom will help you, won't you, darling?
I stopped through Chicago on my way in. About a half a dozen people send their love.
Oh, do they miss me?
The whole town is desolate. All the cars have their left rear wheel painted black as a morning wreath, and all night there's a persistent wail along the North Shore.
Oh, how gorgeous. Tom, let's go back. Tomorrow. You ought to see the baby.
I'd like to.
Well, she's asleep. She's 2 years old. Haven't you ever seen her before?
Never.
Well, you ought to.
What you doing these days, Nick?
I'm studying to be a bond man.
Who with?
Probably Trust.
Never heard of him.
Oh. Well, you will.
Any money in bonds?
Everyone I know is doing it. They're making lots of money, too. Ever since I came back from the war, I found the Midwest to be rather dull. So that's why I've come east. Father's financed me for a year.
Where are you from?
St. Paul. Minnesota?
Uh-huh.
You'll be rich as Midas someday.
Well, I've got over half a dozen books on investments and securities and banking. I'm studying all the time.
Well, Tom will help you, won't you, darling?
Oh, I'm stiff. I feel like I've been lying on that sofa for as long as I can remember.
Well, don't look at me. I've been trying to get you to go to New York all afternoon.
This'll help.
It is prohibition.
So what?
Besides, I'm absolutely in training.
How you ever get anything done is beyond me.
You know, I recognize you from somewhere.
You said you lived across the Sound in West Egg. I know somebody there.
Oh, well, I don't know a
But you
single.
must know Gatsby.
Gatsby? What Gatsby?
He's got that huge mansion that looks like an imitation of a French hotel.
The one with the tower.
Throws huge parties.
He's my neighbor. Our lawns are practically.
In 2 weeks, it'll be the longest day of the year. Do you always watch for the longest day of the year and then miss it? I always watch for the longest day of the year and then miss it.
We ought to plan something.
Oh, yes. Let's plan something. What do we plan? What do people plan? Look. Look, I heard it. Tom, you did it. You did it. I know you didn't mean to, but you did do it. That's what I get for marrying a great big brute of a man. A great big hulking physical.
I hate that word hulking, even in kidding.
Hulking. 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 Hulking.
Have a drink, Nick?
All right.
I've got a nice place here.
It's enormous. A sunken garden.
You belong to Domain, the oil man. I'll show you around.
Well, don't take him away yet, Tom.
Come on, I'll show you the pony.
Please, Tom.
Are you planning to stay in the east?
I'd be a goddamn fool to go anywhere else.
This is a permanent move.
They hated France.
How long were you there?
About a year. Then we followed the polo circuit.
Drifting endlessly, parties and yachts and great big hulking men hitting wooden balls with mallets.
Well, you make me feel uncivilized.
Civilization's going to pieces. I got to be a terrible pessimist about things, Nick. Have you read The Rise of the Colored Empires by this man Goddard?
Why, no.
Well, it's a fine book, and everybody ought to read it. The idea is, if we don't watch out, the white race will be utterly submerged. It's all scientific stuff. It's been proved.
Tom's getting very profound. He reads long books with deep words in them. What was that word, Tom?
It's up to us, who are the dominant race, to look out where these other races will have control of things.
Got to beat them down.
The idea is that we're Nordics. I am, and you are, and we produced all the things that go to make civilization, science and art and all that. You see? Excuse me.
I love to see you in my house, Nick. You remind me of a rose. Oh, an absolute rose. Oh, doesn't he, Jordan? An absolute rose. Oh. Excuse me.
So how long are you training? This Mr. Gatsby you speak.
Quiet. I want to hear what happens.
Is something happening?
You mean you don't know? I thought everybody knew.
I don't.
Why, Tom's got some woman in New York.
Not some woman?
She might at least have the decency not to telephone him at home.
Well, it couldn't be helped. I've been outside and it's awfully romantic outside. There's a bird on the lawn that I think must be a nightingale. Yes, a nightingale. Come over on the canard or the White Star Line. He's singing away. It's awfully romantic, isn't it, Tom?
Awfully romantic. Before you leave, I want to take you down to the stables. Excuse me.
Nick, we don't know each other very well, even if we are cousins. You didn't come to my wedding.
I wasn't back from the war.
Oh, yes, that's true. I forgot. The war took a lot of young men away. Nick, I've had a very
I suppose she talks and eats and everything.
Who?
Your daughter.
Oh, Pammy. Yes, of course. Listen, Nick. Let me tell you what I said when she was born. Would you like to hear? It'll help you understand how I've come to feel about things. Pammy was less than an hour old, and Tom was God knows where, and I had just woken up out of the ether feeling utterly abandoned. And the first thing I did was I turned to the nurse and I asked her if it was a boy or a girl. And she told me it was a girl. And I turned my head away and I wept. And I said, all right, I'm glad it's a girl. And I hope she'll be a fool. I hope she'll be a beautiful little fool. That's the best thing a girl could be in this world, a beautiful little fool. You see, I think everything's terrible anyhow. Everybody thinks so. The most advanced people. And I know, I've been everywhere and seen everything and done everything. Sophisticated. I am so sophisticated!
10 o'clock. Time for this good girl to go to bed.
Jordan's playing in a tournament tomorrow over at Westchester.
Oh, you're Jordan Baker, the golfer.
Good night. Wake me at 8, won't you?
You'll get up.
I will. Good night, Mr. Caraway. See you anon.
Yes, you will. In fact, I think I'll arrange a marriage. Come over often, Nick, and I'll sort of fling the two of you together. You know, lock you up accidentally in linen closets and push you out to sea in a boat, that sort of thing.
Good night. I haven't heard a word.
I knew I recognized her from someplace. I read about her in the paper all the time. Those golf championships at Palm Beach and Asheville. Wasn't there a story about
She's
her?
a nice girl. They oughtn't to let her run around the country this way.
Who oughtn't to?
Her family.
Her family is one aunt about 1,000 years old. Besides, Nick's going to take care of her, aren't you?
Well, rich girls don't marry poor boys.
What nonsense. She's going to be spending a lot of time around here this summer, and I think the home influence will be very good for her.
Is she from New York?
No, from Louisville. She and I spent our white girlhood there together. Our beautiful
Did you give Nick a
white
little
girl-
heart-to-heart talk while I was on the phone?
Oh, did I can't quite remember. Yes, I think I did, Nick, didn't I? What did we talk about? Oh, I think we talked about the Nordic race. Yes, I believe we did. It just sort of crept up out
Don't
of
believe
my
everything you hear,
know.
Nick.
I haven't heard a word. Good night, Tom. Daisy.
Good night, Nicky, my dear, sweet Nicky. Mwah. Good night.
Yes, Gatsby turned out all right. But it's what preyed on Gatsby. What foul dust floated in the wake of his dreams that's been haunting him. And haunts me still.
Come on. I want you to meet my girl. Hello, Wilson. How's business?
Oh, can't complain. But when are you gonna sell me that car?
Next week. I got my man working on it now.
Well, works pretty slow, don't he?
No, he doesn't. And if you feel that way about it, maybe I better sell it somewhere else after all.
I don't mean it like that, Mr. Buchanan. All I meant was that...
Get some chairs down here, why don't you, so somebody can sit down?
Oh, sure.
I try to teach him manners.
Myrtle, this is Nick Caraway. We went to Yale together.
How do you do?
Hello. I want to see you.
So?
Get on the next train.
What if I don't want to?
You want to.
What makes you so sure of that? Think you can walk in here and order somebody around?
Just get on the next train.
Will you get me the dog you promised me?
I'll get you a whole brood.
You promise?
Woof, woof.
In that case.
Meet me at the apart in an hour.
All I meant about that car, Mr.
We gotta go.
Buchanan was-
Just showing Nick here the neighborhood.
Yes, sir, but I was just thinking...
I said I'll see about the car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Buchanan.
Terrible place, isn't it?
Where are we?
Queens. Hard to imagine people choose to live here.
Awful.
It does her good to get away.
Doesn't her husband object?
New York City. Large, gaudy, and a great place to hide.
Wilson? He's so dumb he doesn't know he's alive. He thinks she goes into New York to see her sister.
Now, most of these fellas will cheat you every time. All they care about is money. Last week, I had a woman up here to look at my feet, and when she gave me the bill, you thought I had my appendicitis?
really get home and study.
There's plenty of time to make money. Come on, here. Drink up.
Oh, dance with me, Mr. Caraway. I'm a sentimental. What's the use of trying not to fall? I had no will. You made your kill 'cause you took advantage of me.
We need more alcohol. Myrtle, stop shaking your ass and get some more ice and mineral water before everybody goes to sleep.
I told that boy about the ice. These people, you have to keep after them all the time.
So, what Long Island too?
I live in West Egg.
Really? Would I know your place?
No. No, it's just a small summer rental.
Oh, well, I went to a party down there about a month ago, and a man named Gatsby's. Do you know him?
He's my neighbor.
Really? Well, I heard that they say that his cousin was a nephew of Kaiser Wilhelm's. What's it like? Either way, I'm scared of him. I'd hate for him to get anything on me. You know, somebody told me once that they thought he killed a man. I don't think it's so much that, more that he was a German spy during the war. Heard that from a party, knew all about him, grew up with him in Germany. Because he was in the American army. Anyways, you look at him sometimes and nobody's looking. Oh, man, he killed that man. About that house of his, though, they say he doesn't even live in it, but lives on a building float secretly up and down the Long Island shore.
Come on, stop it. You'll make me spill everything.
Even one of them can stand the person they're married to.
Can't they?
Can't stand them. What I say is, why go on living with them if you can't stand them? If I were them, I'd get divorced and get married to each other straight away.
Doesn't she like Wilson either?
You try being married to a stupid, ambitionless bastard who smells like grease.
You see, as soon as they met, they're moving out west. It's really Tom's wife that keeps them apart. She's Catholic, and they don't believe in divorce.
Leave Daisy out of this.
Daisy's not Catholic.
No, Myrtle really ought to get away from her husband. They've been living over that garage for 11 years, and Tom's first week she ever had.
You know, as always the two seats facing each other that were the last ones left on the train. Now, I was on my way to New York to visit my sister and spend the night. He had on a dress suit and hat and leather shoes, and I couldn't keep my eyes off him. I was so excited when he looked at me, I had to pretend that I was looking at the advertisement above his head.
What the hell are you doing?
What?
Get over here.
Shut up, I'm telling a story. Now, when we pulled up to the train station, he stood next to me, and his white shirt pressed against my arm, so I told him I'd have to call a policeman, but he knew I lied. I was so excited that when I got into a taxi car, I didn't hardly know I wasn't getting into a subway train. Yeah, all I kept thinking over and over was, you can't live forever, you can't live forever.
That's enough, Myrtle.
Oh, the great man speaks.
That's enough booze for one afternoon.
Get your hands off me. And where's that dog you promised me? Now, this is the key. I am going to give you this dress as soon as I am through with it. I'm going to go out and get another one tomorrow. You know, I really got to write down a list of all the things that I need to get. So I need to get a massage. And I need to get a wave. Oh, and I need to get one of those cute little ashtrays. You know, when you touch a sprig and a wreath together with a black silk bow from Mother's grave, it'll last all summer. And that little dog that Tom promised me too. You know, we really should write down a list. I'm so forgetful.
I should really get going.
Oh no, stay!
Yes, stay.
I've been drunk just twice in my life, and the second time is this afternoon. I don't think Daisy would find it very admirable.
Daisy. Everybody talks about her like she's some goddamn saint.
Shut up, Myrtle.
Don't you tell me to shut up. I'll say anything I like.
I told you about using her name.
Daisy.
I mean it, Myrtle.
Come on, everyone.
Myrtle,
Let it go.
I'll say it whenever I want to. Daisy. Ah! Oh, you bastard! You son of a bitch bastard!
Oddly, I began to like New York. And all the while, music came from my neighbor's house.
His blue gardens, men and girls came
Saturday morning, a chauffeur crossed my lawn and handed me a surprisingly formal note. The honor, it said, would be Gatsby's if I would attend his little party that night.
Your face looks familiar. Were you in the 3rd Division during the war?
Why, yes. How did you know that? I was in the 9th Machine Gun Battalion.
I thought so. I was in the 7th Infantry until 1918. Is it?
The war? Yes. I think I enjoyed myself a little too much. Made coming home rather dull.
I know what you mean. I doubt any of the people at this party would know what it's like being in the trenches.
It's not something you forget.
No, it's not. Where are you from?
A Saint. Minneapolis.
I know them well. Listen, I just bought myself one of those new hiking planes. I was thinking about taking it out for a spin tomorrow morning. Would you care to go with me on board? Just up and down the shore along the Sound?
What time?
Any time that suits you best.
Yes. Yes, I think I'd like that very much. Oh, by the way, my name is Nick. Nick.
Mr. Carraway,
Miss Baker. Hello.
I thought you might be here. I remembered you lived next door. Having fun?
Well, it's kind of an unusual party for me. I've been here for hours and I still haven't met the host. You see this fellow Gatsby? He sent over a chauffeur this morning with an invitation.
I'm Gatsby.
What? I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, old sport. I thought you knew. I'm afraid I'm not a very good host. Listen, if there's anything you need, all you have to do is ask for it. If you'll excuse me, I'll rejoin both of you later.
I feel like such an idiot. I kept picturing Gatsby as this extravagant and fat and middle-aged. Who is he? Do you know?
He's just a man named Gatsby.
I mean, where does he come from? What does he do?
I haven't the faintest idea.
We don't just come up out of nowhere and buy a palace on Long Island.
Well, Gatsby did.
We must have some sort of a past.
Well, now you're started on the
It's
subject.
just that everybody keeps talking about him.
Well, you told me once that he was an Oxford man. However, I don't believe it.
Why not?
I don't know. I just don't think he went there.
Well, I've heard some of the wildest rumors about him.
That he killed a man.
Yes.
That he was a German spy.
Yes.
That he runs an underground pipeline from Canada.
He does.
Anyhow, he gives large parties. And I like large parties. They're so intimate. At small parties, there isn't any privacy. Are you having a good time?
I'm having a good time with you.
You know, Daisy's very taken with you. She hasn't stopped talking about flinging us together.
Well, she'd be happy about tonight.
Are you in love with her?
Isn't everyone?
Yes. If I told you a secret, do you promise to do something about it?
What do you mean?
Tom's woman in New York? She isn't the first. One night, in Santa Barbara, California, just after he and Daisy got married, Tom ran into a wagon on the Ventura Road and ripped a wheel off the front of his car. The girl who was with him got into the papers too because she broke her arm. She was one of the chambermaids at the Santa Barbara Hotel.
Why does Daisy put up with him? Why doesn't she just leave him?
Maybe you're the one meant to help her.
Remember, old sport, we're going up in the hiking plane tomorrow. 9 o'clock.
I am so sorry that I didn't recognize you earlier.
Don't worry about it. Don't give it another thought. 9 o'clock.
I'll be there.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, old sport.
Daisy! Daisy! Daisy, where the hell are you? What are you doing down here?
Looking at the party lights.
You know how worried I get when you course I do. You know I do.
We should go sometime. Dance again.
You don't want to associate with those people. Come on, let's get inside.
I miss the parties.
I know you do. And we'll go again, I promise. But right now, Pammy needs you.
I'll be up in a minute.
I said Pammy needs you.
And I said in a minute.
Fine! Fine, do as you like.
You mean like you?
Look, I don't know what's gotten into you lately, but forget it. Just come back before Pammy goes to bed.
So much nicer a long time ago. When we had each other and the space around the world was warm.
What a machine!
Fantastic!
Thrilling old sport!
Thrilling!
Say, I was thinking we could go to New York later and have lunch!
Anything! I'm all yours today!
Say, old sport, what's your opinion of me?
What?
I said, what's your opinion of me?
Well, we've only just met.
Be frank, old sport.
Well, honestly, I've heard some rumors.
I'm going to tell you something about myself. I don't want you to get all the wrong ideas from all these rumors you've been hearing. I'm the son of some wealthy people from the Middle West, all dead now. I was raised in America, but educated in Oxford, because all of my family was educated in Oxford and it's family tradition.
What part of the Middle West?
San Francisco.
I see.
My family all died, and I came into a good deal of money. From that moment, I lived like a young Raja, living in all the capitals of Europe, Paris, Venice, Rome, collecting jewels, chiefly rubies, doing a little big game hunting, painting, doing things mostly for myself, and trying very hard to forget something painful that happened to me in the past. Then the war came. It was a great relief, and I tried very hard to die, but I seemed to live an enchanted life. I set up the commission as a first lieutenant in the Aragon Forest. You were there.
At Saint Mihiel Salient.
Yes, this was near Souilly. I had taken 2 machine gun battalions so far forward that there was a half-mile gap on either side of us where the infantry couldn't advance. We stayed there 2 days and 2 nights. 130 men, 15 Louis guns. When the infantry tribe finally arrived, they discovered 3 German insignias of divisions, surrounded by piles of the dead. I was immediately promoted to major, and every Allied force gave me a commendation. Even Montenegro. Little Montenegro in the Adriatic Sea. This is the one from Montenegro. See what it says?
Orderi di Menelo, Montenegro, Nicholas Rex.
Turn it over.
Major J. Gatsby, for valor extraordinary.
This is another souvenir that I keep from my Oxford days. It was taken on Trinity Quad. The man on the left is now the Earl of Doncaster.
So it's all true.
Of course.
I didn't mean it like that. I
It's
just
all
meant
right,
that.
old sport.
Why are you telling me all of this?
I'm going to ask a big favor of you, and I thought you should know something about me. I didn't want you to think I was some nobody.
So you planned all of this.
I knew I could trust you. You see, I find myself moving here and there, and talking mostly to strangers, because I'm trying to forget the painful thing that happened to me in my past. You'll hear all about that this afternoon.
At lunch.
Yes, but not with me. You'll be having lunch with Miss Baker.
Do you mean to tell me that you're in love with Miss Baker?
No, old sport. I'm not, but she's kindly agreed to speak to you about this matter.
I don't understand. Why can't you just tell me yourself?
It's a delicate situation.
Hello, Rick.
Tom! Hello, what are you doing here?
You here all the time? Where the hell you been? Daisy's furious because you haven't called up.
Oh, I've just been, Mr. Gatsby. This is Mr. Buchanan. Mr. Buchanan, Mr. Gatsby.
Sir, how'd you happen to come this far uptown to eat?
Oh, I'm having lunch with Mr. Gatsby. And Miss Baker.
You behave yourself with her. I'll be up at the apartment later. Stop by and see us. We'll have a drink. If you'll excuse me, I have friends waiting. Nice to meet you, sir.
He's married to my cousin Daisy. They live across the sound from you.
Yes, listen, I hope I haven't made you upset with all this Miss Baker business.
No, it's not that. It's... Well, I just don't like mysteries.
It's nothing underhanded, you see. You don't make very much money, do you?
No, not very much. Not yet.
I thought not. If you'll pardon me, I have this business on the side, sort of a sideline thing, and I was thinking if you didn't make very much money,
Hello,
perhaps...
boys.
Miss Baker.
Jordan, hello.
Nick, Jay, did I interrupt something?
No, nothing at all. Please, sit. Thank you, Miss Baker, for... thank you both. Well, if you'll excuse me, enjoy your lunch.
Is he always like this?
He knows what he wants.
Well, it's certainly nice to see you again. Even under mysterious circumstances.
Not that mysterious. Not really.
So... What's going on?
You know Daisy and I grew up together.
Yes, she told me.
Daisy Faye, the most popular girl in Louisville. We all envied her. She dressed all in white and drove a little white roadster, and all day long beaux would line up at her door. If you behave yourselves, I'll spare each of you exactly 1 hour.
The excited young officers from Camp Taylor demanded the privilege of monopolizing her nights.
Well, one night I'm walking by her house. This was 1917. And she's on the porch, dancing with a lieutenant I had never seen before. They were so engrossed in each other that they didn't see me. He was looking at her the way every young girl wants to be looked at. And because it seemed so romantic to me, I have remembered the incident ever since. His name was J. Gatsby.
Gatsby.
Why, Lieutenant Gatsby. And I didn't lay eyes on him again for over 4 years. Even after I'd met him at one of his parties, I didn't realize it was the same man until the other night. Anyway, they became inseparable. Promises were made. And then he left for the war. She changed after that, became distraught and withdrawn. I don't know what happened, something to do with her family, but when the war was over, she just up and suddenly married Tom Buchanan of Chicago. He arrived with an entourage and more pomp and circumstance than Louisville ever knew before. The day before the wedding, he gave her a string of pearls valued at $350,000. I was a bridesmaid. Half an hour before the bridal dinner, I walked into her room and found her lying on her bed as lovely as the June night in her flowered dress. Congratulate me, Jordan. As drunk as a monkey. She had a bottle of champagne in one hand and a letter in the other. Never had a drink before, but oh, how I do enjoy it. Well, I was scared, I can tell you. I had never seen a girl like that before. Here, Terry. Take this back downstairs and give it back to whoever it belongs to. Tell Daisy's changed her mind. Do you hear me? Daisy's changed her mind! I didn't know what to do. I locked the door and got her into a cold bath. The dearest heart of all.
letter?
It was from him.
Gatsby?
He was coming home from the war to marry her.
Well, then why did she?
She heard the name Gatsby for the first time in years the day you first visited. Do you remember?
What a strange coincidence, he's here.
But it's not coincidence at all, don't you see? Gatsby bought that house to be near Daisy, to be just across the bay from her.
Really?
He wants to know if you'll invite her to your house some afternoon and then let him come over.
Wait. So what you're saying is, he's waited 5 years, even bought a mansion, just so that he can come over to a stranger's cottage some afternoon for a liaison?
All this time, he's half expected her to wander into one of his parties somehow. But she never has.
That's what he gives them. He wants her to see his house, to see what he's created for her. Your house is right next door.
Incredible.
Will you do it?
Does Daisy even want to see it?
Daisy's not to know about it. Gatsby doesn't want her to know. You're just supposed to invite her to tea. Alone, of course.
I don't know that I feel comfortable.
Daisy ought to have something in her life, don't you think?
What about you? What if I invited you over for tea? Would you come?
Ask me.
Do you have everything you need in the matter of tea?
All set.
I hope I'm not asking you to do anything out of the way.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Would you like something while you wait?
No, no. Oh, it's raining.
Yeah, I noticed.
I'm going home.
What?
It's too late. No one's coming to tea. I can't wait all day.
Don't be ridiculous. It's just 2 minutes to 4.
You don't understand, old sport. I have things that I...
You see?
Is this absolutely where you live, my dearest one? Oh, it's adorable! Absolutely adorable! Are you in love with me? Is that why I had to come alone?
Hello, Daisy.
Jane, I'm glad to see you again.
We've met before.
We haven't met in many years.
5 years next November.
Jordan tells me you've been awfully naughty with her.
Have I?
Oh, see, I'm the perfect matchmaker. Although I'm very angry with her right now. She left my car out in the rain with the top down, and it's ruined, absolutely ruined. She lied about it at first, so you be careful with her, Nick. She is incurably dishonest.
Well, if you'll both excuse me,
Where are you going?
I thought I'd get some tea and cake.
I'll join you. Oh, God.
What's the matter?
This was a mistake. A terrible, terrible mistake.
You're just embarrassed. That's all. Daisy's embarrassed too.
She is?
Almost as much as you are.
Does the suit look all right?
Oh, the suit is fine.
What'll I do? What'll I say?
You're behaving like a little boy. Not to mention the fact that you're being rude. Daisy's in there all by herself. Go on.
I thought if we ever saw each other again, it'd be when we were old and decrepit. How handsome you look, Lieutenant Gatsby.
Would you like to sit?
Yes. Did you know I'd be here?
I arranged it. Here.
Are these all me?
Newspaper clippings from the last 5 years.
My debut? Chicago? Oh, look at that silly hat. Even Europe.
He's a very good polo player.
Yes, Tom has a knack for winning. Jay, I tried to wait. Really, I did.
Look at this.
Oh, how handsome you are in your uniform. You never married?
No.
Jay,
glad, Daisy, it's stopped raining.
I'm glad, Jay.
Sport, I want you and Daisy to come over to my house tomorrow. I'd like to show her around.
Are you sure you want me to come?
Absolutely, old sport. Daisy, my house looks well, doesn't it?
That huge place there.
Do you see how the light catches it from the front?
Oh, Jay, it's splendid.
It is splendid.
It took me 3 years to earn the money that paid for it.
I thought you inherited your money.
I did, old sport. Do you like it?
Oh, I love it, Jay. But I don't see how you live there all alone.
I always keep it full of interesting people, night and day. The people who do interesting things, celebrated people.
There are music rooms and sunken baths, bedrooms and period styles, marble swimming pools and jonquils.
My favorite.
Hundreds, thousands of jonquils everywhere.
Oh, Jay.
And I have a man in England who sends me a selection of clothes every season, spring and fall.
Such beautiful shirts! Oh, it makes me sad because I've never seen such beautiful shirts before. Jay, do you think it's possible to reverse time?
First time, gods can't be that cruel.
Just erase it and begin again. Do you think that's possible, Jay, to just start over? You said you'd be here. You said you'd come back from wherever you were, and here you are, gleaming like silver. And I said I'd be waiting. My hair was damp that night. Remember? And you, in your Brooks Brothers uniform, looking so handsome and smelling of new goods, and the garden smelling of pine forests and wisteria. And you told me you loved me, and I thought you were the sweetest person in the whole world. And music everywhere, filling the pine forest fragrant with our future. We were golden happy, weren't we, Jay? Golden happy. And you trusted me with the dearest heart of all. And it was so much more than anyone else in the world had ever had. Such beautiful shirts, Jay!
They called it the Jazz Age. Other people coined the term. Scott and I, we lived with it.
These things excite me so! They excite me so! Oh, I've never met so many celebrities before. Nick, if at any time during the evening you would like to kiss me, you just let me know and I'll be happy to arrange it. Just mention my name. Represent a green card. I'm giving out green tonight.
Are you really having a good time?
Oh, Jay, we're here together in your garden. Your beautiful garden. I can hardly believe it's possible. Can it really be possible? Will you have someone look it up in the encyclopedia and tell me if it's really true? And then look it up under G. G for Gatsby. What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do? What'll I do when I am
Talking to those people over there?
Well, she's common, but if you'd like to take down any more addresses, you can borrow my little gold pencil.
Who is this Gatsby anyhow?
They say he owns some drugstores, a lot of drugstores.
Yeah, right.
Bought them himself, built them up himself.
Probably some big bootlegger.
Be quiet, you don't call to talk like that.
Well, he certainly must have strained himself to put this menagerie together.
Well, at least they accomplish things. They're more interesting than the people who we see.
What's come over you? They're vulgar. Broadway riffraff. I don't know why you let you talk me into this. Let's get out of here.
In the morning, in the evening,
Ain't we got fun?
ain't got money, oh, but honey,
Ain't we got fun?
You're embarrassing us.
let me go.
I say, old sport.
Look, I don't know who the hell you are or what's going on, but I'm sure as hell going to find out. I'm getting the car.
Jay,
Daisy, if it wasn't for the mist, we could see your house across the bay. It has a green light that shines day and night.
shines for you, Jay. It's always shone for you.
Do you mean it? Do you love me? Do you really love me?
Yes.
That's all that matters. Stay here. I'll take care of everything.
Nick, I'm leaving Tom.
It's about time. When?
As soon as it can be arranged.
Are you sure?
In fact, I just want to go. I don't want to tell Tom anything. Do you think I'm making a mistake?
Daisy! Daisy!
I wouldn't ask too much for so soon. You can't repeat the past.
Can't repeat the past.
You can't repeat the past.
Of course you can. And this time I'm going to fix it and make it the way it was meant to be.
Almost 5 years Gatsby had waited for her. There must have been moments when Daisy tumbled just short of his dreams. Not through her own fault, but due to the colossal vitality of his illusion. It had grown beyond her, beyond everything. How could one mortal possibly live up to it? The king's daughter, the golden girl. Illusion.
But no amount of fire or freshness can challenge what a man has stored up in his ghostly heart.
Nick! Nick, hurry up. Daisy's expecting us for lunch. Gatsby's coming too.
Is he all right? I went by his house the other day and some character right out of a cops and robbers picture answers the door. He says, "What do you want?" Well, I ask him, "Is Mr. Gatsby sick?" And he just says, "Nope," and slams the door in my face.
He's fired all the servants,
Why?
so there won't be any gossip. Daisy sees him almost every day in the afternoons.
That isn't very discreet.
So,
She should be more careful. That's all.
you really are moral, aren't you?
It's not that. It's just... What if Tom finds out?
Daisy drove over to Gatsby's yesterday with her suitcases packed, ready to run off. But he wouldn't go.
See, now that he's got her, he doesn't want her.
Well, of course he wants her. They love each other. But it has to be done right. He's looking for some sort of atonement, a renunciation of years lost.
How can Daisy possibly do that?
He wants her to tell Tom that she never loved him. She's promised to do it today. Well, come on. We don't want to miss the fun. I'll get the car.
No, I'll drive.
Why?
You're a rotten driver.
I am not.
You almost killed that workman the other night.
What worked?
The one that you hit with your fender. Either you want to be more careful or you want to drive at all.
I am careful.
No, you're not.
Well, then other people are.
What does that have to do with anything?
They'll keep out of my way. It takes two to make an accident.
And suppose you meet a driver that's just as careless as you.
I hope I never will. I hate careless people. That's why I like you.
Mr. Thomas Buchanan, the athlete.
Rumor has it he's on the telephone to his girl.
Mr. Gatsby. Glad to see you again, sir. Nick, Jordan.
Make us a cold drink, please. You know I love you.
You forget there's a lady present.
Well, then you kiss Nick too.
What a low, vulgar girl.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care anymore. Kiss him.
When are you going to tell me?
Soon, darling. Soon, I promise. Don't look so sad. There's nothing in the world I want more than you and your precious love. Come here, quick. Do you see those little pink clouds? I want to get one of them and put you in it and push you around. Thank heaven, something cool to drink. What do we do with ourselves this afternoon? And tomorrow afternoon and the next 30 years?
Don't be morbid. Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall.
It's so hot. It's so hot and everything is so confused. You look so cool. Oh, you look so cool. You always look so cool. You resemble the advertisement of the man. The man in the shirts. Who wants to go to town? Why don't we all go to town?
All right, let's go to town. Well, what's the matter anyhow? If we're going to town, let's start.
Well, are we just going to go like this?
You wanted to go.
Oh, fine. Have it your own way. It's too hot to bother. Come on, Jordan.
I don't see the idea of going to town. Women get these notions in their heads.
Shall we get something to drink?
I'll get some whiskey.
Can't say anything to him in his own house.
She's got an indiscreet voice. I don't know what it is. It's light. It's full.
Her voice is full of money.
Yes, that's it's full of money.
Okay, we'll go to the plaza.
And rent 5 bathrooms and take cold baths and drink mint juleps.
Shall we go in my car?
I would have expected a chauffeur.
I prefer to do my own driving.
Are the gears standard?
Yes.
Well, how about you take my coupe then and let me drive your car to town?
It takes some getting used to.
I'm sure I can manage.
And you may need to get some gasoline.
If it runs out, I can stop at a drugstore. You can buy anything in a drugstore nowadays. Come on, Daisy, I'll take you in Mr. Gatsby's circus wagon.
Oh, you take Nick and Jordan. We'll follow in the coupe.
Did you see that?
See what?
You must think I'm pretty dumb. Perhaps I am, but I've got almost a second sight sometimes that tells me what to do. I made a small investigation of this fellow.
And you found he was an Oxford man?
Oxford man, he wears a yellow tie.
He did go to Oxford.
Oxford, New Mexico, maybe. I'm stopping for gas. Let's have some gas. Wilson, what do you think we stopped for, to admire the view?
Oh, I'm sick, sir. I've been sick all day.
What's the matter?
I'm all run down.
Well, do I have to do it myself?
I need money pretty badly, Mr. Buchanan, and I was wondering what you were going to do with your old car.
How do you like this one?
Pretty yellow one.
Pretty fancy, eh? Ever seen anything this fancy before?
No, sir.
Like to buy it?
Fat chance. No, but I can make some money on the other.
What do you want money for all of a sudden?
We've been here too long. Gotta get away. Myrtle and I want to go west.
She does?
She's been talking about it in 10 years, and now I'm gonna take her whether she wants to or not. I'm gonna get her away.
Why is that woman staring at me?
What do I owe you?
See, I just wised up to something real funny the last couple of days. Yeah, I wised up real good. That's why I need the money, Mr. Buchanan. That's why I've been bothering you about
What
that
do
car.
I owe you?
I really need that car, Mr.
What do
Buchanan.
I owe you?
$1.20.
Keep the change.
I don't need to bother you, Mr. Buchanan.
I'll let you have that car.
You will.
Sure, I'll send it over tomorrow afternoon. Forget about the heat. Jesus, you make it 10 times worse by crabbing about it, for Christ's sake.
Why don't you leave her alone, old sport? You're the one that wanted to come to town.
That's a great expression of yours, isn't it?
What is?
All this old sports stuff. Where'd you pick that up?
No, Tom, if you're going to make personal remarks, I won't stay here a minute. Make us a mid-julep.
By the way, Mr. Gatsby, I understand that you're an Oxford man.
Not exactly.
Oh, yes. I understand you went to Oxford.
Yes, I went there.
When was this?
I told you I went there.
And I heard you, but I'd like to know when.
It was 1919. I only stayed for 5 months. That's why I can't call myself an Oxford man.
Yeah, right.
It was something that they offered us officers after the armistice. We could go to any of the universities in England or France. I chose Oxford.
Open the whiskey, Tom, and I'll make you a mid-julep. Then you won't seem so stupid to yourself. Oh, look at the mids.
Wait a minute. I want to ask Mr. Gatsby one more question.
Go on.
What kind of a row are you trying to cause in my house?
He's not causing a row. You are. Have a little self-control.
Self-control! I suppose the latest thing is to sit back and let Mr. Nobody from nowhere make love to your wife. Well, if that's the idea, you can count me out. Nowadays, people begin by sneering at family life and family institutions, and next they'll throw everything overboard and have intermarriage between blacks and whites.
Good God, Tom.
We're all white here.
I know I'm not very popular. I don't give big parties and invite every riffraff from Broadway and the picture shows. I suppose you've got to make your house into a pigsty in order to have any friends.
We can talk about my house another time when the ladies are present. What I have to tell you, sir, is something very different. In fact, what I want
Let's
to
just
say...
go home. Can we all just go home, please?
Yes, that's a great idea. Now, come on, Tom, let's go. Nobody wants a drink.
I want to know what Mr. Gatsby has to tell me.
Your wife doesn't love you, all right? She never loved you. She loves me.
You must be crazy.
Your wife doesn't love you. Do you hear? She only married you because she was tired of waiting for me.
It was a terrible mistake.
But in her heart, she never loved anyone but me.
Now, why don't we
You're
all
not
just-
going anywhere.
Yes, we are, Tom. Come on, Daisy, let's go.
I think it's time someone finally...
Are you going to lecture me on character, Jordan? That's a laugh. Nick, has your girlfriend here told you about that tournament in Asheville? She cheated to win that tournament. The great golf champion. Now, what was it you wanted to say to me, Jordan?
Let's go, Daisy.
Sit down, Daisy.
See here, Tom.
Stop yelling at me.
I want to know what's going on.
I told you what's been going on for 5 years and you never knew.
You've been seeing this fella for 5 years?
Oh, not seeing. We couldn't meet. But she loved me that long and you never knew.
You're crazy. I can't speak about what happened 5 years ago because I didn't know Daisy then. And I'll be damned if I see how you got within a mile of her unless she brought the groceries to the back door. But all the rest of that's a goddamn lie. Daisy loved me when she married me, and she loves me now.
No.
She does, though. The trouble is sometimes she gets foolish ideas in her head and doesn't know what she's doing. And what's more, I love Daisy. Sure, once in a while I go off on a spree and make a fool of myself, but I always come back, don't I, Daisy? And in my heart, I love you all the time.
You're revolting! Do you know when we had to leave Chicago? Oh, I'm surprised they didn't treat you to the story of that little spree of his and Santa Barbara
And the Riviera.
Daisy, none of that matters anymore. I'm just telling the truth. That you never loved him and all of it's wiped away forever.
How can I possibly love him?
You never loved him.
I never loved him.
Not at Deauville?
No.
Not that day I carried you down from the punch bowl to keep your shoes dry. Daisy?
Oh, don't. Please don't. Jay, you want too much. I can't change what's past. Isn't it enough that I love you now? I did love him once. But I loved you too.
You loved me too?
Even that's a lie. She didn't know you were alive. Why, there are things between Daisy and me that you'll never know. Things that neither of us can ever forget.
I want to talk to Daisy alone. She's all upset right now.
Even alone, I can't say I never loved Tom. Wouldn't be true.
Of course it wouldn't.
As if it mattered to you.
Of course it matters. I'm going to take better care of you from now on.
You don't understand. You're never taking care of her ever again.
I'm not? Why's that?
Because Daisy's leaving you.
Nonsense.
I am, though.
You're not leaving me! Certainly not for a common swindler would have to steal the ring and put on her finger.
No, but I can't stand this anymore. Please, let's just go
I'll
home.
take care
It's
of
so
you.
hot. It's
Who are you, anyhow? You're one of that bunch that hangs around with Meyer Wolfsheim. That much I happen to know.
Daisy, let's go.
I made a little investigation into your affairs, Mr. Gatsby.
You can suit yourself about that.
I know what your drugstore's worth.
What of it?
He and this Wolfsheim bought up a lot of side street drugstores here and in Chicago and sold grain alcohol over the counter. That's just one of his little stunts. I picked you for a bootlegger the first time I saw you, and I wasn't far wrong.
It's prohibition. Nobody cares. And where do you get your booze from, old sport?
Stop calling me old sport! This drugstore business is just small change. You're onto something now that everybody's afraid to tell me about. Something to do with Wolfsheim. But I'll find out about it. Oh yeah, I'll find out about it. You can bet your ass about that, old sport.
Stop it! Stop it, please! I can't stand it anymore! I can't stand it anymore!
Are you going to kill me, old sport? My keys, please. You'll excuse me.
Want any of this stuff? Jordan? Nick? Nick?
What?
Want any?
No.
What the hell's the matter with you?
I just realized today is my birthday. I'm 30. I'm 30 years old. I was 30. Before me stretched the menacing road of a new decade. It was 7 o'clock before we got back in the coupe and headed to Long Island. Tom talked incessantly, laughing and exulting as if he just won a football match. Human decency has its limits. Beside me, her head on my shoulder, Jordan nestled close, but I didn't know her anymore. 30. Promise of a new decade of loneliness. A thinning list of single men to know. A thinning briefcase full of enthusiasm. Thinning hair. So we drove on. Towards death, through the cooling twilight.
We'll leave it, man. Oh, God.
What are you doing, George?
We'll leave it. This wise man? You think I don't hear that? This wise man? That's what they say. Well, no more, Myrtle, no more.
George, what are you doing with my clothes?
We're leaving. The day after tomorrow. As soon as I sell that car.
You're crazy.
Found this yesterday. Even in the bureau.
You've got no right.
You think I'm stupid, Myrtle?
It's for my sister. It's for her
You
dog.
think I'm stupid? You think all I own is a garage?
No, George, I never said
I'm not
that.
stupid, Myrtle. I got things figured
George,
out.
I never said
You
that.
got your face all busted up.
It ain't right what you're doing.
Something ain't right, that's for sure.
Give me back my clothes. You've got no right. Oh, God, I hate you. I hate every second with you. What are you gonna do, huh? You're gonna beat me, George.
I'm sorry, Myrtle. I'm sorry. It's just that sometimes...
Just shut up! Just shut up! God, I can't stand your voice! It's like a slug crawling through the dirt. Oh, I should have left you a long time ago.
Don't say that, Myrtle. Myrtle, please don't leave me. I'm getting the money for you, Myrtle, just like I promised. You hear me, Myrtle?
Oh my
I'm
God.
getting the money.
Please come back for me. Wait!
Myrtle.
Wait! I'm here! I'm here! Wait!
Myrtle!
What's going on? What happened? That's what I want to know.
There was one coming, one going, see?
Going where?
What direction?
Well, she ran out that way, but I was so crazy, like shouted at him. Beat me, throw me down and beat me, but I'm going. Walking through New York, knocked right into her. Must have been going 30 or 40 miles an hour. It was a yellow car, a big yellow car.
You don't have to tell me what kind of car it was. I know what kind of car it was.
You gotta pull yourself together. Listen, I just got here a minute ago from New York. Are you listening to me, Wilson? Listen. I was bringing you that coupe we've been talking about. That yellow car I was driving this afternoon, it wasn't mine. Do you hear me? It wasn't mine. I haven't seen it all afternoon. It belongs to someone else. I borrowed it. Goddamn coward. Didn't even stop his car.
but I'm going to fix it.
I just wanted it to be beautiful.
Daisy, do you believe that I love you? Look at me. Do you believe that I love you?
Yes.
What was said at the hotel doesn't matter. Tom was pressuring you, making you say things you didn't mean, upsetting you.
I'm no good for you.
You're the sweetest, tenderest, most loveliest, beautiful person I've ever known.
What if I...
Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to take care of everything. Now, I want you to go inside. I'm going to stay out here to make sure he doesn't try and bother you. If he does, I want you to come to the window and turn the lights off and on.
You won't hurt me.
I don't care. I'm going to wait out here just in case.
How long will you wait?
All night if necessary. The rest of my life if you want.
Do you really love me that much?
Yes.
But what do I say? I can't hide things. You know how I am. I'll ruin everything.
You're just upset. It's all right to be upset, but don't let him talk you into anything. Don't say anything. Just give me time to set things up, and then we'll go away, just like we planned.
Yes. Yes, that's what I want. That's what I've always wanted.
As soon as I know you're safe here tonight, I'll go home and wait for your call. And then we'll go to Louisville, and we'll get married, and have the life we were meant to have. You asked me once if we could erase time. The answer is yes. That's what we're doing right here, right now, erasing time, and all that matters is you and me.
Oh my God, Jay, he's home.
It's all right. I'm going to wait right out here. No one's going to ever hurt you again. Call me tomorrow. I'll wait for your call.
I ought to have dropped you in West Egg, Nick. There's nothing we can do tonight. I'll telephone for a taxi to bring you home, and while you're waiting, you and Jordan had better go in the kitchen and have them make you some supper, if you want it. Come in.
No thanks. I would be glad if you ordered that taxi for me, though. I'll wait out here.
Daisy's home. Good night, then, Nick. Come by tomorrow.
Are you sure you won't come in, Nick?
No thanks.
It's only 9:30. May as well make the best of it.
Is it true?
What?
What Tom said about your tournament.
What's that got to do with anything?
They say you moved your ball from a bad lie. That's how you won.
People say all sorts of things when you're famous.
I read it. They say the caddy retracted his statement. Did you buy him off?
Nick, you're one of the few honest people I know. That's why I like you. Come on in.
Bye, Jordan.
Goodbye. Like that? You're throwing me over.
I need to go home.
You're throwing me over for a rumor.
I need some time to think.
Fine. Be a coward. Run away. I don't give a damn about you anyway. But hey, at least it was a new kind of experience. Do you remember that conversation we had earlier about driving a car?
What about
You said that a bad driver was only safe until she met another bad driver.
Well, I guess I met another bad driver, didn't I?
I mean, it was careless of me to make such a wrong guess. I thought you were different, Nick. I thought you were rather an honest, straightforward person. I thought it was your secret pride.
I'm 30, Jordan. 30. I'm 5 years too old to lie to myself and call it honor.
Goodbye, Nick.
Hello, Nick.
Jesus! What are you doing here?
Just standing here. Did you see any trouble on the road?
Yes.
So, was she killed?
Yes.
I thought so. That's what I told Daisy. It's best the shock should all come at once. She took it rather well. We took a side road around West Egg and parked the car in one of my garages. I don't think anyone saw us, but I can't be sure. Who was the woman?
Her name is Wilson. Her husband owns the garage. What the hell happened?
I tried to grab the wheel from Daisy, but
Daisy? Daisy was driving?
but of course I'll say I was.
I just assumed that you were.
When we left New York, she was all upset. She thought that driving might calm her nerves. And as we were going through town, we met another car coming the other way. This woman ran out into the road, waving her arms. It seemed like she thought she knew who we were. Well, Daisy turned away and then lost her nerve. And when she turned back, I grabbed for the wheel, and that's when we felt the shock. It must have killed her instantly.
It ripped her open for
I don't want to know.
Why didn't you stop? Get some help.
We tried. Daisy couldn't. She stepped on the gas, and I pulled the emergency brake. We spun out. She fell over on my lap and then asked to be taken home.
You've got to go to the police.
I can't do that.
Just tell them it was an accident.
I'm going to fix this.
You can't fix this! Everyone saw that car. There are eyewitnesses. They're going to trace it back to you. You can't hide a car like that. And then they're going to know that Daisy was driving.
I'm not going to let that happen, and neither will you. I'm just going to wait here to make sure he doesn't try and bother her tonight, and then I'll figure this out in the morning.
That's my tax. You better come home with me.
I'm going to wait till Daisy goes to bed.
Gatsby!
Good night, Nick.
I don't understand you people.
Come on, cup of coffee, George. It do you good.
I got a way of finding out about that car. The yellow one. Who it belongs to. A couple months ago, she comes back from the city. Face all swollen, her nose busted. Oh my God. Oh my God. He killed her.
Who did?
I got a way of finding out.
This has been a strain on you for days, and you don't know what you're saying.
He murdered her.
It was an accident, George.
Those trusted fellas don't mean any harm on nobody. When I get to know the thing, I know it. It was the man in the car. She ran out to speak with him and he wouldn't stop.
How could she have been like that?
She's a deep one.
Maybe you have some friend that I could call,
I
or...
spoke to her. Told her she could fool me, but she couldn't fool God. Took her to the window and I said, God knows what you've been doing. Everything you've been doing. You can fool me, but you can't fool God. God sees everything.
I waited till 4 a.m. and she came to the window, stood there for a moment, and then turned out the lights.
Well, you've still got to get out of town for a few days. Montreal for a week, or Atlantic City.
I can't do that. I can't possibly leave Daisy.
Why won't you listen to me?
I owe you an apology, Nick.
I don't care about that.
I owe you an apology for some of the lies.
James Gatz. That's really, or at least legally, my name. We're cousins, Nick. You and I. Two kids from the Midwest who came east to find our fortune. My parents were farm people from North Dakota. Good people, honest people, but poor. So I invented Jay Gatsby that a 17-year-old might invent, and came east to find my fortune. And then I met Daisy. Of course, I expected her to throw me over. I mean, after all, what did I have to offer? Farm boy from the Midwest. But she didn't, because she was in love with me. He is in love with me. And this time, I'm going to make it right and make it the way it was meant to be.
Thank you.
For what?
It's 12 minutes to my train. I've already missed 3. Oh, I don't want to go to work today. I'll call you up.
You want to know something funny? I haven't used the pool all summer.
I really wish you'd get out of town for a few days.
I know, Nick. You've been a good friend, and I want you to know I really appreciate that.
I'll call you around noon.
Daisy will call soon, don't you think?
Yeah. you will.
Maybe. After all, we made promises to each other.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Nick.
Hey, they're a rotten bunch, Gatsby. You're worth all of them put together. Remember that day, and that night, and the next day only as an endless drill of police, reporters, and newspapermen. Most of the reports about Gatsby were a nightmare, grotesque, circumstantial, eager, and untrue. I found myself on Gatsby's side and alone. Nobody cared. No one. Where were the party people now? I called up Daisy to see how she was taking it. But she and Tom had gone away that afternoon and left no return address. I wanted to get someone for her. I wanted her to know that somebody cared. I went into the room where he lay, and I told him, "I'll get someone for you, Gatsby. Don't you worry. Just trust me, and I'll find someone." The day of his funeral, nobody came. Daisy didn't send a note or even a flower. And then, one day, in October, I saw Tom and Daisy walking ahead of me on 5th Avenue. Just as I slowed to avoid overtaking them, he saw me.
Nick! Daisy, look, it's Nick. What's the matter? Object to shaking hands with me?
Yes. You know what I think of you.
You're crazy, Nick. Crazy as hell. What's the matter with you?
What did you say to Wilson?
I told him the truth. He came to the house while we were getting ready to leave. He was crazy enough to kill me if I hadn't told him who owned the car. He had his hand on a pistol, a revolver in his pocket the whole time. And what if I did tell him? Gatsby had it coming. He ran over Myrtle like he'd run over a dog and never even stopped his car.
You were always my favorite cousin, Nick.
You're careless people! You smash up things and creatures, and then you retreat back into your money, or your vast carelessness, or whatever it is that keeps you together, and you rely on other people to clean up the mess that you've made! Couldn't forgive any of it. After Gatsby's death, the East became haunted for me. Distorted. It was time to go back home. Back west. The blue smoke of brittle leaves rises in the air. And the wind blows the laundry stiff on the line. And as I brooded on all of this, checked out that green light at the end of Daisy's dock. He had come a long way to this blue lawn and this enormous failure of a house. And his dreams must have seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp them. Gatsby believed in that green light, in the orgastic future that year by year recedes before us all. It eluded us then. That's no matter. Tomorrow, we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther, and one fine morning. And so we beat on. Boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly from the past.
Scott, it was much nicer a long time ago when we had each other in the space about